Because of the pandemic, we have to stay at home to stay safe. But that doesn't mean we can't have a great time while we're sitting at home. Hi everybody, it's Andy Barrar, aka Handy Andy, your DIY tech guy. And today we're doing a review for Best Buy's blog on something that could possibly replace your television. We're looking at the BenQ UHD HDR Smart Home Theater Projector. Now, this is a projector that is very versatile in being able to play content from the internet. You can watch live sports, or you can enjoy content directly from streaming services like Amazon Video. So let's begin this review by taking a quick look at the design of the TK850i. Now, the BenQ TK850i looks like a conventional projector. It's got a low profile and wide design. Now, it weighs about 9 pounds and it measures 15 inches wide, 5 inches tall, and 10 inches deep. Now, you could put this on a coffee table. You could have it raised on a shelf. Me personally, I would recommend that you mount it right on the ceiling, because then it's just set up once and you never have to worry about it. And you can do that with this projector. Now, a couple of interesting things. The onboard controls, if you want to use without the provided remote, are right on top. Of course, you have the lens on the front with a cover, so you can cover it when you're not using it. And also on the top, you have this little flap that allows you to adjust the lens dials to get that picture right. Now, on the back is where you're going to find all the ports. Of course, you'll find 2 HDMI ports, a USB Type A, USB Type Mini B service port, SPDIF, audio out, the RS232 control, and a 12 volt trigger. Now, the lamp life really depends on the brightness level that you choose, and you have full, medium, and low brightness. At full brightness, you're going to have 4,000 hours of lamp life. At medium brightness, you'll have 10,000 hours. And at low brightness, you're going to have 14,000 hours. Now, just going right down to the middle, if you were to do the medium brightness level, you're going to get about 6 to 7 years of use if you were to use this about 4 hours a day. Now that we've looked at the design of the BenQ TK850i home theater projector, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about setting it up. Here's the interesting thing about this projector. It doesn't come with Android TV built in. In fact, it has a dongle that comes with the projector, and what you have to do is take off the top plate and insert that dongle inside the projector. Now, what's really weird is there's a dedicated spot inside for this dongle, and it makes me wonder, why didn't this come with a dongle built in? Why did they require the user to have to screw this in? I'm not sure. It might be some kind of a licensing issue, but it's super easy to do. All you need is a Phillips screwdriver, and you're going to be able to put that in. Once the dongle was in, the next step is to position the projector to get the best screen possible. Now, I have a projector wall that has a 137-inch screen. That's the widest I can get this screen. This has a throw distance of approximately 1.13 to 1.47. That's the ratio. So, for example, if you want a 100-inch screen, you're going to need about 8 feet from the wall, what they call a long throw to the wall. So you'll need about 8 feet to get 100 inches. Now, in my case, I was going for 137 inches. So this was approximately somewhere between 9 and 10 feet away from the wall to get that image just right. From there, I just had to adjust the dials to get the focus. And it also had this really cool green grid. And I found that to be very useful into positioning the projector and getting everything right from each corner. All in all, with the install of the Android TV dongle and the positioning and the final setup, this took only about 10 minutes. So setting up the BenQ TK850i is very, very simple. And once you have everything done, the rest of the setup is done through the Android TV. Now, because I have an Android phone and I use a lot of Google, it was super easy. The entire setup of getting Wi-Fi, getting connected to your network, your account information, all of that is done on your phone once you basically work with the projector and Google does the rest in the background. So you can be up and running with your account, watching YouTube videos in literally about 10 minutes from the time of your unboxing, which was super simple setup, and it works really well. Now that we've seen the BenQ TK850i projector setup, let's talk a little bit about the viewing experience. For this one, the only thing I was concerned about was daytime use. How did this projector do in the daytime in bright conditions? Because someone getting this is probably gonna get a TV or a projector, and I'm really leaning towards the projector side, and I don't want to recommend something that doesn't do good in daytime conditions. So what I did was watch various types of content in daylight and then went through the different modes to see how this projector fared well. I used the Android controller. On it has Google Assistant built in. You just got to press the mic button and then you can search via voice, and I do this all the time, so I'm very, very familiar with it. What I did was search for 8K macro footage of just everyday objects and animals. And typically I like to do this because it has a lot of colors and you can really appreciate the potential of a projector by looking at this type of footage. And in the daylight, man, was it fantastic. The colors were popping. And I think a lot of it has to do with the HDR, the high dynamic range in the video, because the contrasts were remarkable. You know, the darks were dark and the brights were bright. And even when I'm looking at like insects and you can see their like skin and all the different colors, just remarkable footage, you know. This is 4K. So this is like what, 3840 by 2160 resolution. And it's fantastic. And I'm starting to think that 4K works really good in daytime use as a projector, because every 4K projector that I've used has done fantastic in daylight conditions. That it's still bright, and 3000 lumens is incredibly bright, and you still have those contrasts, so that dark scenes, you still have that cinematic thing. But I have to admit, it does perform better at nighttime. Of course, everyone knows that. Projector's always gonna be better at night than daytime. But I was really concerned about day, and so I did a lot of my review in the daytime just to see if it in fact could replace a television. And now, you know what? Yeah, I think it could. If you got the space, you got that throw distance, I don't think you should get a television. I think something like the BenQ TK850i would do just the trick that you're looking for. But this is not a perfect projector. And the big issue that I'm having right now with this is the audio out, okay? Because there is no built-in Bluetooth. What that means is somehow, if you have, whether it's a sound bar or you have a 5.1 surround system in your home theater room, guess what? You're going to have to do a wired connection. And I don't like wires. I just hate wires. I'll use wide cord covers, everything. I just do not like exposed wires. And unfortunately, despite this being a great image, 4K image on your wall, even the speaker, it's decent. The speaker is decent. It's not that bad. I actually, when you're sitting beside it, it's enjoyable. But it's not going to replace a soundbar. It's not going to replace a 5.1 sound system. And when you have a 4K image that big, like in my case, 137 inches, you want the best sound possible. That is part of the auditory experience, the entire experience of watching the big game or even watching sports and movies and video games. Audio is a huge issue, and that is my big issue with this, because you're going to have to do a hard wire. Now, there is a workaround. You can get a Bluetooth receiver and put it onto the audio out on the back of here, transmit that Bluetooth signal to a Bluetooth soundbar. However, and I know this as a fact because this is a solution I'm using with my current projector, you get some latency issues. And that can be noticeable when you're watching a movie and the dialogue and the mouth, and there's a little bit of delay with the audio. And for some people, it drives them crazy. Some people might not notice. It's around 7 to 8 milliseconds. So I don't know how bad the latency would be with the Bluetooth receiver. I really wanted to try that. I want to get a Bluetooth 5 receiver, the new one, to see if that can reduce the latency. But this is a big issue with this projector. I'm telling you right now, you're going to have issues finding the audio. So if you are in the market for this and you're looking at it, think about how you're going to connect the audio to it, whether you're going to use a Bluetooth receiver or if you're going to do the hard lining, especially if you like mounted to the ceiling. Now you got wires, you're going to have to go to the corner. You got to find ways to run this wire. So just be mindful of that. Otherwise, I'm telling you, this projector was amazing. I think my favorite feature about this projector has to be the Android TV, because it makes it so simple to search. You know, Google. I watch so much stuff on YouTube, and just to have Google Assistant built into the controller made it super easy to find content. There's even a dedicated button for Amazon Prime. You know what's missing though? And this really pisses me off. There is no way to get Netflix on here as a dedicated app. So while there's a built-in YouTube app, there's a built-in Amazon Prime Video app, there is no built-in Netflix app. And I think I know why. There's got to be some type of beef between Google, between Android TV, and maybe Netflix. That's my theory, because you got one of the most popular streaming services not available on here. That doesn't mean you can't watch Netflix. Here's how you do it. You're going to have to pull out your laptop. You're going to have to play Netflix on a browser, and then you have to cast that to the projector, because Google Chromecast is built in to the Android TV. That's a lot of hoops to watch Netflix, and a lot of people want to just watch Netflix. So the only workaround that I can see is basically installing a Roku streaming stick into the back. But guess what? You know what that does? It introduces a third controller. Now you have 3 controllers for one projector. You have the projector controller itself, you have Android TV, and now you have the Roku controller. Now imagine, say your soundbar has a controller. That's another one. That's 4 controllers. In this day and age, why do we still have to have 4 controllers? Why couldn't this just have the one controller for turning it on and to have Android TV and change the different modes? It's just these little things that always bother me. I just don't like having a lot of controllers. And you got batteries and you got to charge them and everything. So that was one thing that I didn't like. The casting, however, from my phone to here was seamless. I really enjoy it. You know, Android TV and projectors, they go together like cereal and milk. It was one of my favorite features about this projector. Well, I hope you enjoyed this review of BenQ's UHD HDR Smart Home Theater Projector, the TK850i. If you like this video, please smash that like button. If you have any questions, comments, or whatever, you can leave those below as well. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. You can find more information about me at handyandymedia.com. And please find me on social. Hit me up. I'm a nice guy. I will get back to you. You can find me on Facebook as well. That's all the time we have today. Andy Barrar, aka Handy Andy, signing out. See you again next time. Bye for now.